Good morning. Hello. Yes, we are starting. So you can take the coffee, pies, all you have. And we can also be kind of flexible during the event, move around. Oops. So wait a little bit when people come closer. So today we also actually have a live stream. This is first time for us, as it's only second event. So can we start? Yeah, it's already going, yes? Okay. We also so if your friends didn't come, they are still sleeping, so you can send them the link and they can see us today online. So it's good that we have this technology, but still it's very nice to see this early morning people coming to events, your faces. It is, yes, topic today is survival. As you saw, weather forecast, maybe it's really like we need to prepare for it. It's about something rainy coming. So good morning, everyone. We are starting. And I have a question. Who is first time on Creative Mornings? Yay! We have many new people. So I will tell you briefly about the format. Yes. So Creative Mornings. Yeah, today you can also use hashtags. Every month we have a different hashtag for the theme which we have, and it's easy, CMTLN, these 5 letters, and you just tell your friends where are you in the one Friday morning. So Creative Mornings is an event which started in New York in 2008. It is an international format, like maybe you know about TED Talks. It is similar but different. We are making it early morning, and this is, as you see, it's a free breakfast event where creative people gather to talk about different stuff, meet together, and this is also mostly for the local community. In New York, it was started by Tina Rosenberg. She is a designer, and she decided that New York local community needed together, okay. And so today it is actually very big row around the cities. It is already in 172 cities, sorry. And we actually joined as 170th city. So we are very new to it, and it is our second event, which is very also inspiring for us. We are not the only ones who woke up today. Actually, this date was very popular as people try to make it on the last day of June. So today, together with us, from our neighbors, we have the most closest are Oslo and Moscow, who are having this event today. And in different cities also, creative people are talking about survival. So yes, it is run by creative, volunteers in all the cities. And in Tallinn, our team, we are 2 people now, and we have a new joint member. So we are now 3. We're growing as a team. And it's also very inspiring that people want to join. So if you're interested, you can come to me. My name is Marina. Sorry, I didn't say it in the beginning. And ask about how you can join the team. We have many tasks. It's very flexible, so we can find a way. Yes, as you have already seen, we have a website. And there is our local Tallinn community. And also in July, we start newsletter. So that all you can subscribe and receive information before 2 weeks, so you can plan it better, when to come, what we have. So stay tuned. We will not be spamming. We'll send you once a month very chosen and relevant information. Yes, and quickly about our partners and sponsors, as this magic happens with help of global partners of Creative Mornings, which are MailChimp, Shutterstock, and Wix. So that's why we have website, the newsletter which you see, and of course picture, the first with this bird. It's also from Shutterstock. So it's good to have good partners. We want to say big thank to Lyft for hosting us second time. It is a very good location. We feel here like if you're wearing slippers, it is very like at home. So it's very good. And Karina is here. If you have any questions, what is co-working, how it works, how you can rent a place here, you just come to her. Like she's on the first here. And also we want to thank our local sponsor, Your Law Company. They work with many creative people in Tallinn, and it's very interesting to see lawyers on the board also. Of course, we must survive with coffee in the mornings, and thank you, Caffeine, for being with us second time today in the morning. And yeah, our sweet pies, second time we're doing them. They have some new pies, like seasonal pies. So if you try it, I didn't try. I hope I have one after the event. Yes, and our partner Art Neon, who are helping us with stickers, some posters. This is also very big help from the family-run business in Tallinn. Yes, and today we have something new, as I already said. We have live stream, so thank you Event Media for helping this, like support all this, for us girls, it's a hard technical part, but we are very happy that we are trying now to be online. Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous because it's kind of feeling like on the recording. So our topic today is survival. It was chosen by Baltimore chapter. Every month, each chapter who is the participator proposes their theme. Our turn will be, I don't know, in 4 years because we just joined, but this was proposed by Baltimore. And the idea was that actually it's also important to talk about like fuck-ups and some difficulties we have, not only in maybe career or work, but also in your personal life. So this is not an easy topic, and I've seen that in many cities they are trying to do it very serious concerning the difficulties we have and they are in the world today. But we decided we are not that mature as event, so we are just starting step by step and wanted to be more like positive. And yes, so I want to present you our speaker. I think you've all read the information, and we have interview with Almondi on our website also. And Almondi is a director, producer, and creative. I don't know, the creative, you always use it so much today. Branded entertainment executive. He worked in Aripav for 10 years. And we wanted to hear his story. He's now working on this animated feature, The Survivalist. So I think he has lots of interesting to tell us how to run a big scale project and not die in it. So yeah, let's welcome Almondi.
Hello, everybody. It is great to be here. Thanks for coming. It is kind of like a pun today, isn't it? It's survival is the theme, and survivalist is what I'm talking about. But you know, it came together really interestingly because I'm working with Njord on this particular project. They're helping me out on a lot of the law stuff because all the contracts are really going above my head. So I really needed help. So that's why they knew I'm doing this awesome stuff here. So I'm Almondi Esko. It's great to meet you all. I haven't worked for 10 years in Äripäev. I worked a lot there, but it's not a problem. But Äripäev has been like, it's Estonian Business Daily, has been like a big part of my life, and after every little while, I get back to it, we're doing some new awesome projects and stuff like that. So I end up working with them a lot. But this project here, what I'm talking about, is a project I'm doing with the Estonian Rescue Board. And to me, it's making a dream come true, because this particular project is a full animated feature film. And I've wanted to do a full animated feature film as I was a young kid. So Walt Disney, for me, was the world when I was young. When I grew up, it was from the time I went to kindergarten to the time I was 17 years old, for some reason that I'm not sure why, no girl liked me. Like, I was rejected for this whole period of time. So where I escaped to were the Walt Disney movies, because they're, always the underdog was the one who got the girl, or who was successful in a way. So to me, Disney had a really personal touch. It was like, it was an escape for me. And ever since, I've tried to escape to these big projects on my own, like create my own worlds, which are like where there's more magic, and which are more fair, and all of that stuff. So this is the first time I have the chance to try to make it happen. And with the theme today, survival, I'm going to go through the production and kind of, give you guys, ask you along on the trip I've been on trying to make this happen. So this is a project which should be in the cinemas in 2090 on May. So if everything goes well, and we all know it always does, everything goes by the plan. So by 2019 May, this animated feature should be in the cinemas. But I'm going to tell you more about what animation itself is as I talk about the journey itself. But the journey began, I think it began about a year ago. So I had an idea for an animation studio, like a studio that pushes out 2 animations per year. And it was an ambitious plan, and I knew it was a very hard plan to bring to life. But I had just quit one work that I was doing, and I kind of needed this inspiration for myself. So I opened Excel, because that's where inspiration is, right? And I started putting down all the numbers, like what would I need to make this studio happen? Like, what are all the steps? And I put together the studio plan, and it actually was like a plan that could work. It wasn't like something that was out of this world. The problem was that to make that happen, you needed 6 million euros per year. That would have been enough to do that. And to make this plan really work, you can't do it for 1 year. To give it a shot, you'd have to do it at least 2 years in a row. So it's like 12 million euros. And nobody's going to give me that money, like nobody. This was not going to happen. So I knew that if I wanted to make it, I need to do one movie. But that's like a difficult problem, like really hard problem. To do it well, you need a big budget, and in Estonia, you can't get these budgets. It's practically impossible to get them. So I needed to get creative. We live by a fire station. So I have a dog, and I walk the dog in the morning, and I walk by the fire station, and one day I'm thinking to myself, like, if I was working at the rescue board, who would be my favorite person in the whole world? And in my mind, the best person in that sense would be a survivalist. Because you never have to save a survivalist, because a survivalist is prepared for everything, like from a storm to a zombie apocalypse. So, if you want a safe person, that person should be a survivalist. And as soon as I had this idea, I thought that, we can build an animation around a survivalist. And if the rescue board likes it and backs it and gives me their shield to move forward, then I think I can get brands behind this production. Because it's not an animation, it's something that introduces the techniques of survivalism to young people and inspires them to be more safe through awesome content. So, next step to me was a letter. Now, I've changed it a bit. It's not word to word, but it's what the letter was. I knew a guy at the rescue board, and I sent him a letter with a topic, crazy idea. Secondly, I said, hey, dude. I didn't say dude. I mean, he had a name. I put a name there. But I don't know if he wants to be, streamed all over the world. But dude, there was a short intro, like blah, 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 how you're doing, stuff like that. And then there was the main sentence. I had a crazy idea of doing a full-length animated feature with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I don't know if I'm going to get him. I just needed a name that would kind of, present the scale, what I'm trying to do. That would inspire kids to become survivalists, and it would cost you nothing. So it wasn't nothing. There was a number there as well. But now we have a contract that I can't say what the number is. But the number is really it's nothing. I can tell you that much. It's 4-digit number, so it's nothing compared to the project. Nothing. But that was never the point. It was never the point for the rescue board to give me the money, because the rescue board's point was to give me two things. Give me their support and give me their knowledge on survivalism, like all the statistics and stuff, like a partner, the main partner for the whole project. And the money from them was not even the main deal. So that the fact that they give me money at all is like a very good deal for me. And last sentence was, I know it sounds like a mushroom talk, but if you'd give me a chance, I'm going to prove you it's not. So I got a meeting. I sat down with them. I talked to them. There were 4 guys in the room, and they looked at me, without any emotion. Like I rambled kind of like the same thing I'm doing now, and I talked, and there was no emotion, and then I stopped, and I was like, oh man, this is bad. And then suddenly they said, yeah, that sounds cool. I mean, we should do things like that more. And I got excited about it. And after that, we had to meet for half a year. Oh, everybody alive? Good? Everybody survived. That's great. That's great. So we talked about 6 months until they actually came on board. They were satisfied enough, like, okay, this is the project we want to be behind in. That's the way we're going to do it. They were happy with the plan. I was going to attack it. So that all took, from this letter to that point, it took 6 months. And we could move forward with it. So the first thing was the story. The story has changed dramatically from where we began and where we are now. So the first story was about 4 kids who are addicted to gaming, and they really screw up their parents' life due to that particular addiction. So their parents sent them to a lonely island, where together with an island ranger, they end up in a real-life game orchestrated by a mad scientist where they have to fight for their lives. And in that game, they're going through this different kind of tasks and challenges like storm and fire and everything that they have to tackle. But now they'd have to do it in real life and fight for their lives. So that was the initial story. Until this girl came along, who is the scriptwriter for the whole thing, Ellen Grete Jadla. She works at IDEA and is an art director. And I needed somebody on the story to help me write it and make it happen, who understands a story and who understands integrating brands. Because integrating brands into the story, which is a big thing for the whole production in terms of it coming like a reality, because we have to bring a lot of brands in and outside of the whole production without it actually killing the production itself, because the story is everything. So I needed somebody who understands how to navigate between the story and the brand, so the story still remains the main thing. So she came on board and started to work and looked at the children who were the main characters and started kind of develop them. And in her process, what she did, she started to define the children through their parents. So she sent me texts about why the child is how he or she is because of his or her relationship with the parent. And it was she went so deep into it that I said to her that, we can't do that, because if it's like the relationship between a child and a parent is so strong, we have to bring the parents into the animation. There's no other way. We can't make them like a secondary character. They have to be the main characters. And I already sent a no answer to that. Like, we have to go to a different direction. And as soon as I said that, I started thinking like, but wait a minute. This actually is a much better story there, because having like 4 children who are addicted to gaming going on an island, that's like a great story for a 20-minute Cartoon Network show maybe, but not for like an emotional story arc that you need for a movie. So as soon as I realized that, we changed the whole thing. So I loved the parents. I loved like the relationship between a child and a parent that much that we decided to make that the whole theme. So in the new version of it, the main character is a single father who has lost connection to his children, his daughter and his son, and now he goes to a lonely island to reconnect with the children. And that was the story. All the action on the island is the same, in that essence that they get into this game, and there's a survivalist and a mad scientist. It's all the same, but the essence of it's changed dramatically, because now we're not watching a story about children reconnecting with reality, but the father reconnecting with his children. And that's the story. That's the emotional story that we can follow. So that was the change, and that was what we wanted. We wanted to do the script. That was the first stage of the whole production throughout the 3 years. We needed the script because the script is everything. But to the rescue board, that wasn't good, because they said, we cannot fund a script, because it's going to create them like a PR madness if they give out money for something that might happen, in 3 years. It's just not going to work. They said it's going to be so much trouble that they have to step out if that's the case. So they needed something else. They needed something physical they could, get their hands on as soon as possible. So we decided on a music video. We're going to create a music video that will promote the whole project. Like, it will be the first introduction to everything, what we are doing. And so the movie production for a short period of time changed to music production. And what we started to do was I started finding the music partner for the whole thing, because I didn't see any point of getting somebody on the project that's not going to be there in the end. So before we had anything, we didn't have the script, we didn't have nothing. I started to look for a music partner for the whole project. Somebody who could write the music for the animation itself, somebody who could write the songs, because it is like a Disney movie. It's going to be, a musical. Songs will be sang in this movie. So I needed somebody who's would be, from day one to the end, a partner in terms of the music. It wasn't an easy challenge. I mean, that was a surprise to me. Like, first, I went to a band. I can't name it. Very cool people. I love them. I went to them and said, do you want to do them? They said, yeah, it's like a great idea. Let's do it. And then I couldn't reach them. I couldn't. I called them. I wrote them. I just couldn't reach them. So until in the end, I said, no, this is not going to work. If it's this hard now, it's going to be like hell when we really get into the serious stuff. So there was a musician, a girl who I really love, who was the second choice. And she was about to have a baby, so it was not, she said it's going to be too hard for her to take this on at this point. So this didn't work out. There was another musician who said that this project to her is too Hollywood. And there was a fourth one who said this is just not for him. So if you're at your fifth choice, you kind of start feeling that this is not a choice anymore, So, but Ed Catmull, the head of Pixar, says that the problems and difficulties is where creativity is born, and that's where art happens when you face challenges. So at that point, I started thinking really outside of the box. Like I went to places that didn't struck me with the first, as the first thing, and. What I ended up was, going through YouTube, just checking out different musicians in Estonia, like finding the sound that I would like, and I came across this dude over here. I don't know if you know him. He's Jarek Kasar, known as Chalice, and Estonian musician, and also he says he's not an actor, but he's acted in things. So this is a part of the music video we're filming, a raw footage of that. So I saw his music. Of course, I knew his music beforehand, but I didn't think of him as the first thing. I watched the music, I loved it, and we met up. And as soon as we started speaking, we clicked like that. It was like, that was it. Like immediately we sat down and I said, I want to do this Disney piece. And he said, yeah, well, we should do that. We should go really classical and we should bring in the orchestra and all of the good things. Everything that I thought in my head, he said it out to me sitting over the table. And initially I thought I'm going to get two musicians on the job. One who's going to do the music and the other one who's going to do the songs. And he said, I want to do everything. And I said, yes. I felt like it's a bundle deal for me, so, so it worked out great. Okay, now we had another problem. We had a musician, so we needed to start and think what is the music video we're going to do. My initial thought was to go do something simple, save money and put the money into the script and all of that stuff. But I'm really bad at doing simple stuff, and I tend to I tend to die for all productions I'm in, and it seems like a virtue, but think about raising the money for that thing, and my head of branded sales is over here, and she's, Pia Sander is sitting over here, and she's, she has to take care of that. If I have a crazy idea, she has to find the money for that crazy idea, and that's not an easy thing if you really you have to, in your production, you have to have somebody who cares about the budget, like who really watches what the budget is. Because I don't watch the budget. I want to get the best production possible, and I push all the money inside the production, and that can create a mayhem in the end. So I'm really happy for Pia being on the team with me. So, but we still went the hard way, not the easy way, but the hard way, and we knew we needed money for it. So we found a company called Ad Gorilla. Who are great people who do this awesome stands and displays for, whatever you want to display. If you're in an event like this or whatever, they do this awesome stuff. And we started speaking to them that we have this animation, maybe we want to come along, maybe we could do like a music video together, maybe integrate your project somehow and stuff like that. And they said, yeah, let's do that. Find a way to integrate our project and let's make it happen. So initially it was like an easy idea, and in the end it wasn't that easy at all, because this is my dog, this is their stand, what they did, and we wanted to find a way how to integrate their product into the music video that made sense. Not just like, we're going to put it there and it's going to be there and it's, be done with it. We wanted it to be necessary for the production, not just for it being there because, they're the brand behind the production. So I sat down with my animator, Magnus Wulp, and we started thinking of all the ideas, what can we do? And every idea I pitched to the animator said, yeah, but you don't need a screen for that, You don't need a screen for this. You could do this digital. It's going to be better. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. At first, I really got pissed about it. Like, oh, man, I need the money. Come on, help me out here, meet me halfway. But in the end, I really liked that he challenged me on this, because that is what creates a great production, because that is what creates something that is truly necessary. So that's why we found something that we really needed, that suited the production, that helped us, and that integrated the brand the way we actually the way the brand actually should be integrated to the whole thing. So what we did was we asked them to build this screen for us, which is like a two-sided chroma key screen. One side is blue, the other side is green, and we could use it for the production. Now, for the animation itself, as the budget for the whole thing, the film itself is 1.7 million euros, which sounds like a lot, but in reality, it's not a lot at all. It means that we can do. Walt Disney spends $1 million per every minute they make. Every minute of animation for Walt Disney costs $1 million. So having 1.7 million for the whole project for 90 minutes is going to limit everything, like all of our chances. So the creative thing that we thought, or solution to that problem was, if you look at animation, the way you see an animation doesn't have a big budget is the world around animation. The characters people forgive. If the characters are simple, people forgive that simpleness inside the characters. But if the world is simple, that is where the animation becomes cheap. So what we decided to do was put all the money we have from the animation side into characters, creating these 3D characters, and the rest of it, like the worlds, we would build like it would be built for a puppet movie, basically like that. So we would build the worlds in the real world, give it like the reality we wanted, and make it look like it's the 3D world. Like it's kind of like a magic trick in this essence. And that was our idea, and we thought, let's try it out. You know, we have this music video, we're already doing it, we're already investing time and money into this. Let's try something out that we really might need for the whole animation. So that is what we did. We took the screen. My friend Asmo Villak built these small worlds. 3 small worlds for the animation, or for the music video that followed 3 catastrophic events that people could get themselves in, like find themselves in. Like there's storm, there's fire, and there's water. And these are the 3 stories, and we have 2 characters reacting to these situations in the music video. So we built 3 worlds. These are just parts of the worlds. This is the storm world, this is the fire world, and this is the water world, which consists of more than just a boat, but you know, for the purposes, it is just a boat, so you would know it's water there. And we all filmed it with their screen. We documented with a web series, and we're going to have a separate music video, which kind of like gathers all the awesome footage of while we made it. So that put the brand inside of the production itself, and in a way that the brand was necessary, and the screen behind it was necessary, not just something I'm going to put in because, you know, I need the money. And what we ended up with was this is a small footage of what we ended up here. There's nothing here. You're going to see you know, some effects at the end of the whole thing, but this is the whole thing without any effects. There should be wires there. There should be clothes hanging from the line. There's no characters, no windows, no nothing. But you're going to see what we ended up here. Just a little preview of the whole thing. Let's see if this works. So instead of stop motion, we decided to really film it, which is going to be, you know, really hard for the animator in the end to track all the characters, which in here are going to be 2D characters. And none of this is what we're going to see in the movie in the end. It's just a test for the whole thing. So this is a part of the world we shot, and this is going to be like, you know, there's going to be storm, rain, everything. It's going to be mayhem when the whole thing is done. So, okay, doesn't move on over here. Let's try this one. So, okay, we got the video. Now it was time for music. Jarek had worked on it for a bit. We were so close to the deadline where I had to present something to the rescue board, and this was really the most important deadline for me because it's, until that point, I've only sold them an idea, nothing like it was only air that they got. So they waited for the music, which was the first part for them. Like, okay, we're really like, we made a good investment. We're not in trouble. So I really felt it that this was something that needed to be right. So the first thing I got from Jarek, well, it wasn't what we were looking for in terms of the first song. There are no words, or actually there are words, but as he hadn't had the chance to make the words, he used the first word that came to his mind to illustrate the melody. So this was the first thing.
Almoindi, 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 almoindi.
So that was the first like demo, and I assure you this is a demo. Now this is a good song actually. I can assure you this is going to haunt you for throughout the weekend. But it wasn't the right song for the first thing that we tried to do. So I said to him that this is a great song. It's very Snow White, but we need a little more Lion King. So after a couple of days, he came back with this one. Again, no words, or yeah, you're gonna understand. At least we have a chorus there.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Mina jään ellu. Mina jään ellu. Pa 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 pa.
So, and this was actually good. You maybe not for you now, but I listened to it. I mean, I felt that, okay, there's something there. If we add all the orchestra and stuff like that and their words and things, that it could work. So the next step was creating the words, which were super important to the rescue board and super important to us, because the only way it works, if it's not like, it has to be a song that you can't connect to the rescue board directly in a way that, you know, this is a song that's going to teach us how to, you know, become a survivalist, because as soon as it's that, we're going to lose the whole thing. So it needed to be artistic. And this is a part of the process. So.
See pole veel lõpp, kui tegijal juhtub. Küll jamadest välja teen, leian, kui tean, mida teen, sest mina jään ellu. Mina jään ellu. Sa hoia kinni kaabut nüüd tõus.
Okay, and now we had a song. We presented it to the rescue board, and they loved it. There was a storyboard that explained animation, and you know, to see the relief in their face was awesome to me, because there was like, they couldn't even hide it. When I sent them the song, I sent them the words and the storyboard of how the thing is going to go out. You know, the way that they looked at me was like, oh, we're so glad it's not a scam. Oh, like their faces were like, oh man, yeah. They were, I don't even think they really looked at the content I did. They were just happy they got something that, you know, that they're not going to lose their jobs over. So the next step here was another challenge. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, I can do it with this one. I have to use. We needed actors for the whole thing. And try getting actors to a project that doesn't have a script. You know, not an ideal place to start out with. And we need actors to promote the hell out of the project that they're not really knowing what the project is. So, but what I wanted to do was, I wanted to get people into the production or into the song, the actors to the song who are going to be in the animation. So again, the whole project, the whole music video, the whole music, the whole song would make more sense. Like it wouldn't be separate to the whole thing, but it would add to the whole thing. And the only way it made sense to me was to use actors who are going to play the main roles in the animated movie, both in the Estonian and the English version. So I came across like the first name I wanted for the female lead, who's going to be the survivalist, was Sara Kadak, an Estonian actor and singer who is super awesome. And I was afraid that she's not going to be able to make it because she has a very young child at home, I think 3 months. So I was really afraid that maybe she can't make it happen, but I had to ask her anyway, and she said, sure, let's do it. And I'm super happy about it. You know, I don't know how she makes it happen, but she hasn't missed, like, throughout the whole production, like the music video, the recording of the song, everything, she's missed nothing. She's been there every time, on time, without like any hesitation. So to me, she's like, you know, a superwoman, basically. And I'm really happy because she's not only talented, she's like super professional, and I'm really happy to having her on board. So the next thing I needed was a male lead. And I played around with a couple of names. I asked a couple of actors, and they said, you know, I don't know, I need a script. Then I can say if I want to be in this thing. So as the time was ticking, again, I was pressured into making some kind of a choice. And weirdly enough, the choice was in front of me. So I understood that the person who should play the male lead is Jarek Kasar, because I like the voice. He can act well, and he's already, you know, again, the bundle deal went better for me. So so I asked him, and he said, sure, let's do it. So the two leads were now Sara Kadak and Jarek Kasar. Let's see. Then we recorded the whole thing. This is Rasmus Puur working hard with the Song Festival, and he did the arrangements for the band and orchestra for the whole production, which really made it, you know. So you're gonna see in the shortly what it's gonna be like. And this here is now where we are today. It's super unfinished, super unfinished. So many things missing. We're still missing the characters. We're still missing the clothesline over there. But we do have some of the windows, which is good. But this is like kind of the essence where we are today. And I think it's with music as well. So this is where we are now. As you can see, it's you know, super not done. We still don't have the vocals, like the final vocals, which were missing here, where Jarek's vocals, he's going to start the whole song. We're missing the characters. We're missing, you know, a whole lot of stuff over here. And the thing about it is that the deadline for the whole thing to be ready in the contract is tomorrow. And this is never going to happen. No, this is like, there's no chance in hell this is going to happen. And to kind of sum the whole thing up is, like, this to me is not only the production, but life in general. it's not about getting to a point where you, like, really isn't like a safe harbor anywhere. You get to a place and you can stay there for a while, and then you have to move on to the next place, and then to the next place, and then to the next place. And it's like the best case scenario, what you can hope for is like Rivendell in Lord of the Rings, which is like, you know, for a small period of time you could stay with elves and it's going to be fine, and then you have to move to Mordor, you know. That's the kind of, like, that is life in general to me. So, and the only way you can get through this, the only way you can really, like, enjoy it is if you embrace the whole struggle, if you embrace the whole thing that, you know, tomorrow is the deadline, I'm not going to make it, I'm going to have a difficult conversation on Monday about why it's not done, and why we need extra time and why we need to push the whole thing to September. And even if we push it to September, by September we're going to have a whole lot of other problems that are going to be big or even bigger than this one. And after that there's going to be new problems and problems after that, and so on and on and on until the very end, like until I'm, you know, dead. That is what the life is going to be. And the only way to embrace it, the only way to, like, really enjoy it is if you embrace the struggle. And I'd like to end here with what Ed Catmull said about creativity. And I'm just, you know, paraphrasing. It's not exactly what he said, but the essence of it was that we all find ourselves on daily basis in whatever we do in situations where we don't know what the solution is. And that is like, that creates a huge sense of anxiety. But what Ed said is that you shouldn't run from that anxiety. What you should do is stay inside it as long as possible without panicking. Because that is the point where creation happens, where like real art happens, where real things happens. Because that is something that is unplanned. That is something where you have to figure out a thing from a place where you have, you know, no solutions. And that place is the only place where real creativity happens. So I think that's a great way to approach life in general. So thanks a lot for listening my story. Thanks a lot for coming along. And I have a final slide here as well, which is a little bye-bye from the whole team. You know what I love about her? She looks like super comfortable under the water, like she's super chill. And I can assure you, as soon as we came up after that particular shot, she said, you know, we have to do the music video stuff with one take because I can't handle it. So a great actor. That's a great actor. Okay, thank you. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer. Thank you.
Just raise your hand and I'm coming.
A question in Estonia? That is strange.
So you talked, thank you for your talk. You talked a bit about how hard it is incorporating branding and how important it is actually to incorporate branding so it doesn't look cheap or it doesn't look unnecessary to the story. So can you please share one of your favorite examples of incorporating your brand in movies or animations or anything? And one of the worst, the laziest, the cheap ones. And the good Lego movie as the good one and Transformers as the bad one. Don't count, something else, please.
Oh, okay. This is the thing. What I like on the film, the first film that comes to my mind is Castaway, and if you remember, there was one of the main characters was the Wilson volleyball, which was a main character, and that actually was a brand, like a sports brand, Wilson, and the volleyball was their product that they used. And so when the story about it, I don't know if you've all seen it, Tom Hanks plays there, and he ends up after a plane crash on a deserted island where he's alone, and on the shore together with him there are like boxes, like FedEx boxes from different stuff that were on the plane. And on one of these boxes is a volleyball. As he's on the island and he's alone and he has no one to talk to, He paints a face on that particular volleyball, and as on the other side of the volleyball there's written Wilson, he calls the character Wilson. Like now, that is his friend called Wilson, and Wilson is like the main character, the second character of the whole movie, and that is directly a brand. And even today, if you go to a website and you want to buy the Wilson volleyball, you can do it. It's $19.99, I think, euros, and you can buy it and order it, and you get a face and all of that. And that was a character inside a movie. So that is like a great example of brand and entertainment integration, to my mind. The second one, what I really like and I use as an example, is what Netflix did with Orange is the New Black. Maybe some of you know this example already, but I love it, so that's the main one I use usually. So do you know the series Orange is the New Black? An awesome show. So before the show came out, they published an article together with New York Times, and the article was about female prisoners. And that was it. The only where the Netflix was integrated just below the headline as a brand, like kind of like powered by or something like that. Netflix, it was very small, and only once was the show mentioned in the whole article. Like this was just a sentence, and the rest of it was only about the theme itself, about women who are in prison. And the idea that Netflix had was if they create this article and if people get engaged about female prisoners, about women in prison, if they get engaged about the stories, then when they come out with the series, then people want to have it. So the whole idea behind that for them was getting people hungry for the topic they're coming out. So they got people hungry, and then they, brought out their plate. And that is like one of the most interesting examples that I know about branded entertainment, because you don't even integrate your brand into the promo production itself. You just integrate the idea, and you plant the idea of what you want to do later on, and you kind of play like a mental chess with the whole thing. You do this, and you hope that if you do this, people are going to like the next thing, what you really want to promote. So these are the two examples that I give.
And about like bad cheap ones.
Well, yeah.
The most horrible one of horrible, because there's a lot of bad product placement, but there must be some really horrible.
Well, this is going to get me in trouble. this is going to get me in trouble. A lot of, I'd say a lot of Estonian TV series can have really like on the nose promo in it, which is not integrated, but is like full-on commercial stuff. And I know why they do it. It's because of the budget, and they need the money, and they need the brands to make it happen. But in Estonia, it tends to be like sometimes you watch some shows and they seem not like shows, but a long format advertising with advertisement in between them. So that is what happens. Also, you didn't say you said not to use Transformers, but it really is a bad one. It really is a bad one. So there are like bad examples in there as well. But there are a lot of those examples. I mean, especially in the movie and entertainment business, where brands really push for the brand name to be, or the product to be, in your face, because they think that this is the way you're going to get people behind whatever you're doing. So to look bad examples, it's really easy. You basically see them everywhere, but it's happily, this is changing, because brands now understand that you don't have to be in your face to sell something you really like, and the brands are getting really experimental, as you can see with the rescue board. At this point in our contract that we did, never did they say that they want like their badge or the rescue board mentioned throughout the animation. The only thing that they wanted was this kind of a project that would inspire kids and maybe their parents as well to become survivalists, to become more safer, to make this topic cool itself, and that is what they invested in. And this is like an example of a brave choice and also a very good branded entertainment production. It's not about the brand, it's actually what you want to do, and their purpose is to make Estonia more safe, and that is the best way to do it. It's, you know, the shield doesn't make Estonia safe, it's something else that does.
Any more? Okay, so one remark, if anyone needs to leave for work, it's fine, it's morning, we all understand, so yeah, you can like just go. So where were the questions? Okay, I'll come here and then I'll give you.
Thank you, great talk.
Thanks.
So you said that the key to success is to stay in anxiety without panicking. So what's, from your experience, is the best trick to not start panicking?
Oh man, oh man. Well, it's good to breathe, but it's what works for me, I think, is I know Eckhart Tolle probably would really be against that one, but I really like to look at the past for that one, because I do get a lot of anxieties about my work when I do it, and some things really can get me down. Like I really worry if that's a good choice or not, and I'm so often in these situations where I don't see the solution, and the solution has to come like right now. So what I do is I look at the past, the same situations where I've been in, and see how these situations have worked out. Like is there a reason for my panic? Like, does my past support the panic I'm feeling right now, or does my past support something else? It's kind of like going on a roller coaster, you know. If you survived, you know, all of the roller coaster rides until you're 32, like me, then probably when you go on a roller coaster, you're not going to die there, you know, of fear. It's not going to happen because the past does not support it. So that is one thing where I find that is where I find objective information about my fear. Like, has this happened before, and what has been the solution, and did I survive it, and why did I survive it, and did my anxiety have anything to do with it? And that is one more thing about anxiety, I think, which is important to understand, and I tend to forget it like over and over and over again, is like there's no point in worrying. Like literally, nothing good can come out of worrying. If you worry, there's not a solution hidden in worrying. You can't worry yourself to a solution. That is not going to happen. Worrying is just you're feeling shitty because of something, because of not knowing the solution. So the feeling itself is absolutely pointless. So that is one thing I try to, you know, kind of remember myself or keep in my mind where I'm in a tough situation, because, you know, whatever is the solution, the worrying is not a part of it. So so maybe these two things.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I just wonder, how was that video made? Did you were in some swimming pool?
Oh yeah. We were actually in the school I used to go. It's Pelgulinna Gymnasium, and they had the swimming pool there, and they were awesome enough to give it to us for free use, because all, you know, the lessons had ended, and we put a green screen inside the water. So behind there is a green screen stand, and we had this small camera, which is actually like a Sony camera, not like a big, like an action camera. Like the main camera for the whole project was an action camera, because it was the best one for this. And this was just, you know, this is like a selfie. This is like a proper selfie. And lungs filled with air, you go down and pull out bubbles or push out bubbles, and that's it. That's it. And not panic while you're there.
Very cool. Any questions?
You had a lot of challenges on the way. Did you ever feel like quitting? And if you did, what kept you going?
I feel like quitting all the time. This year was like, I think everybody, like every person in the world, in 3 or 5 years, like once in 3 or 5 years, you make kind of like a discovery for yourself that is much more meaningful than all the other discoveries you made in your life. Like after every 3 or 5 years, I felt something that changed the way I see the world. And one of them was in the beginning of this year and directly associated to what you said, like the quitting thing. Because I feel like if I go into these big things, they're super scary. I don't, contract-wise, there should be something in the cinemas by 2090, and I don't know today what it's going to be, I don't even know what the characters are going to look in the animation. I know nothing about that. This is all to be worked out. I'm not sure how easy or hard is to get all of the money that we need for the production. This is all anxiety. And the vision I have in my head for this situation is I feel like I'm on the water, like swimming out to the sea, and I'm swimming, and always like watching behind myself, like where the shore is. Like kind of like inside of me, I kind of feel like, if the shore is close, I feel safer, so I could always swim back if need be. But the thing I found out this year was that you can't look at the shore. You just have to go. Because there's nothing back there. I mean, this is like, if this thing works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And the only way I find out is if I keep going. So that is what I discovered for myself, is just, if you want to see what you can do, if you really want to give yourself a chance, and again, if you really want to embrace life itself, basically, it's just, don't look at the shore. Just go, Just go, go until you can, as far as you can, and find, a dry place or a piece of land in front of you. Don't check out the shore behind you. So maybe that's something. Or maybe that's the answer to your question. I don't know if it is, but it's basically the solution. Not to quit is just to move on. And I know it's stupid. It sounds like it sounds pointless, but to me, that is it. That is it. Just stop looking at the shore and move forward and see again if there's spaces for worrying and if there's spaces for fear. Because if you go back to the shore, you never know if you could have done it at the first place. So yeah, I hope it was some kind of an answer for you.
Okay. Since this is such a big project of yours, are you constantly working on this one project, or you're doing some side projects as well?
I'm doing side projects as well at this point, but we made a decision with BIA that we need to stop doing that, and we need to put all in for this project now and find a way to do that, because we had side things that we were working on, and the words started to collide really much. So we know that it's good to have like a second business to what you're doing. It's always a wise choice not to have everything in one basket for several reasons. But the thing we decided to do was instead of trying to create two different worlds at the same time, we're going to put all into this one world, and whatever business comes out of that organically is what we're going to follow. So that is the thing we made. So today we still have a couple of things we need to end, and then we're going to concentrate on this project full on, and then try to find organically these new things to do, like to widen the whole thing and not have everything in one basket.
So we have, like, if anyone has one quick question, no?
Or one very long one.
No.
With a super short answer.
Yeah. Okay, then I see that. Yeah, we're done with questions. I'm just so thank you. I'm just branding.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Thank you a lot for telling us your story. We hope that you will survive on Monday. It will be fine. Yeah, like let's cheer up with applause. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm super looking forward to hearing all of your stories. So I hope this event goes on and on and on, and I can come. I live so nearby, so it would be great to do these morning sessions.
Yes, sure, join
Thanks.
us. So we will inform you about next event by newsletter and by Facebook. So stay tuned, see how we are going. In July we will also have very interesting topic. And also you can leave your these name tags on the table so we can make a picture, we see who was on the event. And also we can do here, if you have time, we can do some pictures, but yeah, branding is not just we are starting. And also we have some pies there on kitchen, we can finish them, and yeah. So thank you for coming, have a good working day, have a good weekend. Yeah, thank you. That's it.